Okay, so it seems like we have a little bit of an update on VirtuaCon. Now, if you don't know, we covered this a couple of weeks ago. Essentially, this was a convention that was supposed to be taking place on December 20th to the 21st until pretty much every single, well, I say pretty much, I'm pretty sure every single, talent ended up dropping out of this event due to a lot of concerns just with how it was run and what was going on behind the scenes, including a lot of different things. Now, there was arguments, for example, about the usage of AI, which, you know, there was many popular VTubers there that were supposed to be attending, including people like Vexoria and others, you know, which obviously quickly dropped out as soon as they found out. But it wasn't just the usage of AI and things, which, you know, me personally, I don't really care about. It's really not that big of a deal, but I can understand maybe VTubers, you know, some are very against it, so they wouldn't want to partner with the event. But I think it was also the fact that there was some kind of like pyramid schemy thing going on involving a lot of blockchain nonsense and all of this kind of stuff, which kind of weirded people out, right? Because it ended up becoming, yeah, just one of these things that people thought, okay, I think we're getting in a little bit too far now, to the point where it felt weird. People didn't really want to interact with this just in case they're promoting the wrong thing. And yeah, it ended up just not happening, right? We never saw VirtuaCon. It was never a thing that ended up happening. Now, this was supposed to be slated to be the biggest online VTuber event, which, yeah, well, that obviously turned out pretty good. And yeah, I just kind of want to give you guys an update because recently, you know, they've had a lot of their kind of socials still up. There's been people in the Discord asking questions about like, hey, what is actually happening with this? When are we going to see, you know, some kind of response or whatever? And well, I don't think we're going to get one because the invite link is now invalid. I went to go check to see if, you know, I could have a look to see if, you know, there's anything going on. The moderators may have left a message or whatever. That is not the case. It seems like the server is not up. Again, unless if one of you guys are still in the server and it is still up, definitely send me a message or something because I would love to see what they're saying inside of it. But from the invite link being invalid, I'm pretty sure the server just no longer exists. So again, I do think it is pretty interesting to see how much they collapsed ever since this has really gone on. And yeah, it seems like a lot of people found out this quickly to be a big scam and things like that, including people like Powder here and other VTubers saying, how do VTubers look at this and agree to go with it? Even without the warning, VirtuaCon sounded sus. And you can see it literally gave her a message saying, this message seems dangerous. And it was people saying, you know, I'm from VirtuaCon, I can help you. You know, we work with VTubers on brand partnerships and sponsorship opportunities. So again, people were not you know, kind of giving into that, but obviously some people accepted it because, again, I can understand, you know, a lot of smaller kind of events and things, people want to help out, and yeah, there's a lot of bigger VTubers, you know, kind of attending this event. And especially for a lot of the smaller VTubers, seeing them going there, you know, it could be like, okay, maybe this is pretty legit, but obviously that was not the case. And I don't think it's any of their faults. You know, obviously sometimes things can slip through the cracks, which we'll talk about another situation, which I think is actually very, very similar to this, which has happened in the wider streaming space as well. And obviously people saying, just my 2 cents on the whole weird VirtuaCon situation. I got around 5 typical scam emails from them trying to get me to join their event. So yeah, obviously, and then there's people saying, you know, I'm very concerned about this. This was before people even found out, and obviously Vexoria and other people like that ended up making their big kind of statement on Twitter saying, hey, I'm not going to be attending this event because I found out some things behind the scenes. And yeah, as you can see, they're saying like things like, as you can see, they have a mod in their Discord who is the co-founder of a Philippines-based crypto/blockchain guild and member of an NFT gaming league. Why and how are these people involved with this con? I will add more screenshots below. But this guild posted about a token mining game described as a pyramid scheme in Wikipedia's opening paragraph. And if you look at the language used in this group's pinned post, it kind of makes my stomach drop. So yeah, people were very, very concerned even before this came out. And obviously people pointing out the AI generated stuff as well, which nobody seemed to really pick up on. Again, I don't care about too much about the AI generated stuff. I do think if you're going into a space like this though, you know, you probably should use it because I think, you know, obviously there are some people who are fine with it, but I think a lot of the VTubing community and a lot of VTubers are not happy with that. So if you're going to be running an event like that, I just don't think it's a good mix because, you know, some people just wouldn't go because they just don't like that, right? So I think it's better to kind of, I guess, appease everybody and just make everybody happy if you're going to be running an event. Obviously, yeah, if you're a curator or whatever, you know, and you don't care, it doesn't really matter. But for an event that's supposed to include a lot of VTubers, I think trying to get the most VTubers attending is probably your #1 priority. So obviously I can see why that would be a little bit of a problem, right? In terms of getting people on board. And obviously, yeah, as soon as people found out about all of this stuff, including the blockchain, crypto kind of stuff too, people were not happy. And it seems that, yeah, they're now packing things up in terms of a Discord. It looks like they're not going to be making a response in terms of like, hey guys, you're wrong or whatever, because that's what some people were kind of expecting. As you can see, so many VTubers are on board, including people like Feifei as well. And, you know, so many more, you know, smaller and bigger VTubers. It was a real mix. And it was great to see that, you know, there's some other event going on, but it's just a shame that it ended up this way. But then I kind of wanted to draw a kind of, I guess, comparison to a recent situation which happened over in the IRL space with Extra Emily, obviously talking about a $20 million reality TV show collab, where essentially a company approached them, or I think it was Mythic Talent, about kind of a $20 million you know, reality show almost, or like yeah, some kind of game show, right? Where essentially the viewers would like kind of get involved and have the chance to win $20 million or something, which again is pretty interesting, seeing as $20 million in terms of prize money on like a TV show has never been done. It's not a thing, and it's a very, very, you know, unheard of thing. It would have been a record-breaking show if this was to actually happen. But obviously, you know, this got promoted by people like Extra Emily. It got promoted by the Botas sisters and S-Fan and some other people who were slated to be on it, right? And then also it went on to LSF too. LSF also collabed with them, which is interesting, which is now removed because it was all taken down as it quickly got exposed that this wasn't a legitimate kind of thing. It seems like they, you know, they had an address which went to a random place in Canada, which was actually a kebab shop or something. It was like a kebab shop or like an office. I saw like Rich Campbell like calling them up, and they were like, hey, is this the $1 million fan thing? And they were just like, no, we just like have mailboxes and stuff. So obviously it's quite awkward, and it seems like they were using like burner places and everything like that, which, yeah, many people were pretty confused about. And this was one of the posts here saying this is the pitch that creators involved in the $1 million fan show received from their talent agency Mythic Talent. So obviously here is like the thing, and the one thing that is kind of understandable from the point of Extra Emily and you know, all of these people that got involved in this and accepted it, is the fact that they kept on pinning Amazon onto it. They kept on saying Amazon is doing this is to do with Amazon sponsoring it or whatever, it's going to air on Amazon Prime. No, that was not the case. They lied, and obviously I'm pretty sure they told that to Mythic Talent or whatever to kind of tell them, hey, you know, this is going to be an Amazon show, which obviously they're like, oh, Amazon, okay, great. You know, they've worked with, you know, Mr. Beast and stuff like that before, so it would make sense. It would make sense they'd be interested in something like that in the space. But then as soon as they kind of got that deal through, the Amazon kind of tag just kind of dropped. They kind of forgot about that and didn't mention it again, especially on their website. And not to mention their website here, you know, had like AI generated images of like mansions and stuff. So you can see where the similarities between this and VirtuaCon really start to show, right? In terms of, you know, there was a lot of AI generated stuff in there, including obviously some of the descriptions and what you call it, like TOS things, which I think is a big issue, because as I said, you might not have an issue with AI generated stuff, but I do think if they are writing your like safety things, I do think that's a bit of a problem, because obviously you kind of need a human to you know, understand safety stuff, because again, I know it's an online event for VirtuaCon, but you know, it's still not the best. I think a human should really go over that and review it in terms of the actual description and everything like that. Now, obviously for the assets and things, I don't care, but obviously for the $1 million fan thing, it seems like they were just doing it because they wanted people to believe that there was actually this mansion or whatever that people could go to for the reality show, which just was not real at all. So yeah, people quickly debunked that one, and everybody stopped associating with it, including LSF, who ended up deleting the entire post and everything to do with it, which again, I thought was pretty interesting. And as I said, it's very, very similar to the VirtuaCon situation where people found out about the secret crypto blockchain stuff that's going on. Now, obviously, I don't think the $1 million show had that. I just think it was just fake and maybe some way to get money out of people, because I'm pretty sure they had to kind of submit clips and pay to submit like extra ones or something like that. So again, they were obviously taking some money, and I'm pretty sure some people already did invest some money into it. So again, they've already stolen viewers' money from that. But I do think as well, It's slightly different in the fact that this was more of a crypto thing that they were trying to push behind the scenes and whatever. Whereas, yeah, with the $1 million fan thing, it was more so, it just wasn't a thing. It just wasn't real. There was no prize money. They weren't working with Amazon. And yeah, it ended up just being a total scam. But I do think it was quite interesting to see the two comparisons. And this is something that starts to pop up even more. So I think it's more of a message to a lot of VTubers and also just creators in the space, just to be careful, you know, because there is plenty of events like this which go around, and, you know, you got to do your research. I know sometimes, you know, you're focused on making content or you're focused on streaming or whatever, and that's totally fine, right? But I think that sometimes just take a little bit of time to research some of these events that you're going to, because, yeah, sometimes it can end up being a VirtuaCon or a $20 million fan event, and they end up being completely fake. And if this went any further, if the fans didn't do their due diligence to check, you know, exactly what this was, then you could have ended up being, you know, in pretty big trouble, right? Especially if you're like mid-show and you find out all of this kind of stuff. And I think, yeah, that would have been even more embarrassing for some of the talents if they were at the event and this was being promoted. They'd be like, what's going on here? But thankfully, with both of these events, you know, they managed to get out early, and it seems like they never even, you know, managed to even get going, right? So hopefully that will be the case going forwards for a lot of these other events, because I'm sure there's going to be more like this, you know, not just in the VTubing space, but also outside of it, people trying to scam and whatever. So again, just kind of, you know, watch out, be careful whenever it comes to this kind of stuff. And yeah, just do your research, because again, with the $20 million one, and even with VirtuaCon, these were pretty obvious telltale signs, right? They were very, very obvious. They were out there. It just takes one person to research it a little bit, and yeah, you could like instantly find it. And that's how many people found out about VirtuaCon. Obviously, apparently someone researched it and then sent all the information to some of the top, you know, streamers there, including like Vex and people like that. And then they went, oh, okay, yeah, actually, that's bad. And then they all kind of dropped out. So again, all it takes is a little bit of research. So just do it if there hasn't been any research done on it yet. And yeah, just be careful, because again, this stuff happens quite often, and it seems to be happening even more and more with the rise of stuff like crypto and all of these fake kind of like game show things. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.